I'm here to tell you that if you're not watching Monstervision Friday nights on TNT, then frankly, I'm embarrassed for you.
Experience the wonders of high-tech living and dying with Monster Sci-Fi next on TNT.
No, Gloria, all that happened is Frankie Jefferson had to move to California so he could get married to a man. And then his mama got upset. I'll tell you about it later. All right. Project Shadow Chaser. How many times do I have to tell these directors, when the monster is dead, the movie is over? Frank Zagarino, burr haircut man, he flies out of the window, he's on fire, he plummets to earth, he explodes, the movie's over. But no, we get an emergency room scene, we get Martin Cove kissing the sidewalk. What was that about? We get the president driving up. We get Jackson tossing a beer to Martin Cove. The thing goes on forever. So let me repeat this one more time. When the monster is dead, the movie is over. I can't believe I have to teach film school class every single week around here. Okay, coming up in just a minute is our second stellar feature of the evening, Zone Troopers. But first, it's time for a little viewer mail delivered to us by the U.S. Postal Service in the form of the TNT Mail Girl. And I can see, honey, that once again you have failed to conform to U.S. Postal Service uniform regulations.
And I missed you too, darling.
You know, I was thinking, I don't know quite how to put this, but since we're on the same show again and everything, that it might...
Don't even start.
I mean, just a drink or a couple of beers, you know, just a friends thing. Just friends.
Why don't we just read the mail, and we'll talk about that later, okay?
Okay, that's good. Work first, recreation later. In fact, I know this place out at the lake, Bobo's Bait Shop and Pool Room. They have great catfish. We could go there after the show, later.
Ask me next year, okay? I'm booked. Here's the letter, and it's from Earl Sutton. He's on death row. It's from Arizona State Prison, Goodyear, Arizona.
Okay. Dear Joe Bob, you posed a question to us viewers regarding the plump lady on the movie Motel Hell, stating, hey guys, if she was the only girl in the bar, you might, wouldn't you? Damn right I would. Incarceration has made me somewhat desperate. There's this movie I've seen once upon a time ago called Alive. It was about a rat monkey that bites you, then you get sick and die, and then rise to eat flesh. It's a mixed comedy horror flick, a cross between Beetlejuice and Night of the Living Dead. Starts off corny and ends radical, dude. You and your viewers will love it. I guarantee it. Play it as a last request to a loser, Errol Sutton, death row, Arizona State Prison. Okay, Errol. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, the last woman on Earth, she could look like anything, couldn't she? But what if, here's the question, what if she looked like a man? Would you still go for the groceries? I think not. But you tell me, Errol, because you're the guy in prison, you know what I mean? So, you see, honey, this actually, I was touched by this letter. Because, you see, it's letters like this that should make you realize what a service I'm doing for humanity. Here's a guy on death row, condemned man. Who does he turn to? Who does he ask for advice?
I don't know. Anyone who will talk to him?
Okay. Yeah, that's one theory. But, you know, do you like shopping? Because I was thinking, you know, I've got this $10 gift certificate from Victoria's Secret.
No, that one's original.
I do. It's, you know, I can't believe it because that's like actual money that I'm offering. What does it take with her?
It's a lot more than $10.
You know, I think she's hardened over the summer. I hate it when a good woman becomes coarsened by life. But speaking of life, it goes on right now on Monstervision in the form of Zone Troopers, starring Tim Thomerson, the B-movie veteran who was on here a few weeks back in Metal Storm. Remember that turkey? Let's not dwell on that. Anyhow, this is the story of some World War II soldiers who go searching for Nazis behind enemy lines. But they end up encountering these really weird aliens from outer space instead, and I don't want to give it away because this is a one-of-a-kind story. Let's hope it's one of a kind anyhow. Sort of a satirical sci-fi war comedy with cheesy special effects and a great performance by Timothy Van Patten, better known as the Forgotten Van Patten. Those Van Pattens, they should do an infomercial on birth control, don't you think? Okay, let's take a look at those drive-in totals. 80 dead bodies, 3 machine gun battles, 1 exploding alien spaceship, one brutal beating, one motor vehicle chase, exploding Nazi, gratuitous Hitler, 3 stars, and I'll be hanging around a little longer to bring you insights into the cinematic art. Mail Girl looks good, don't you think? Looks great. You don't think she's on steroids or anything, do you? You know, you can tell this is a Charlie Band picture right from the beginning. If you ever see Empire Entertainment or Full Moon Entertainment written on a picture, then you know it's produced by Charlie Band, and you know it'll have this goofy comic book feeling to it. Doesn't matter what the picture's about, they all feel this way. And a lot of them star Tim Thomerson, like Scanners, Doll Man. He must be Charlie Band's favorite actor. In fact, we got to have Tim on the show sometime. He's a stand-up comic, or used to be a stand-up comic. He doesn't do it anymore, and he's made like 9,000 movies, and he's the guy playing Iron Sarge in this picture. Okay, the compass is going crazy. They've retreated into the woods. The Nazis are after them. Roll it. Let's see what happens next. I know I sound like Robert Osborne when I do that stuff. You know, I'm the low-budget Robert Osborne. Just because the movie is cheesy doesn't mean they don't want to know who made it, though. Have a little faith in the TNT programming department here, maybe. You know, perhaps, huh? Outer space, there's a hairy animal face monster loose in the woods, and Timothy Van Patten is the only person we can trust. I think that about sums it up, don't you? Timothy Van Patten, in the role of Joey Verona, is the center of the moral universe of this movie. I rest my case. Thank you. Krauts, lousy, stinking Krauts, in the immortal words of Tim Thomerson. And of course, we have Timothy Van Patten's exhortation to think like a Martian. You know, there's a fine line between goofily charming and stupid. And I'm not saying we've crossed that line. I think there's hope here, but you know, it's 3rd and 2. You know what I'm saying? I thought so. All right, that's the great Art LaFleur as Mittens, taking his brutal beating from the Krauts. They want to know about that weird egg in the cage? Well, forget it, pal. These are Americans. You think they give outer space UFO information to Nazis? Have you ever noticed how these Nazis will never execute a principal cast member? They'll kill everybody else. Blam, dead extra, dead extra, dead extra, dead stuntman. Supporting actor comes into view. Oh, they missed him. Just an observation. Okay, roll it. I think it's a rule in the Screen Actors Guild or something. You can't kill them before the final 2 reels. You know what? I'm starting to actually like this movie. There's something about that guy in the alien bear suit, Mac. He just walks along with them, and they all act like they don't notice that an alien creature with giant black bug eyes has become their friend. And only Timothy Van Patten understands the monster's true emotions. This is good. I like this. I'm not being sarcastic. Do you know what's going on here? I don't know what's going on here. The monster has some kind of Rubik's Cube laser device that creates beautiful women, and then 5 of his friends show up, and they have a different kind of rocket ship than the one we saw before, and they can vaporize tanks, and then we get that scene right about this, Dolan, so the guys at home will know that Joey Verone met the men from space. You know what I say? Right about this now, Dolan, so that we'll understand what's going on in the movie. Great dying scene, though. I'm making fun of it, but I like Timothy Van Patten in this movie. So shoot me. Now for the even more improbable conclusion of Zone Troopers, also known as Dead Nazi Jubilee. Roll it. Science fiction with World War II comedy. And of course, we now know he was crazy. Anyhow, that's it for Monstervision tonight. Next week, our features will be the classic Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th Part 2, because it's Friday the 13th. Isn't that cute how we did that? And I should point out that we're going to be on at midnight next week. A lot of you were probably discombobulated tonight when we came on at 12:15. And we're going to be on at different times every week, so check those listings. But most weeks, it'll be around midnight from now on. 9 o'clock on the West Coast, because we only have 1 satellite. Most networks have a bunch of satellites. We can only afford 1 satellite, so people in Guam, they have to catch us at 11 in the morning. Anyhow, that's next week, and until then, this is Joe Bob Briggs for Monstervision, reminding you that the drive-in will never die. It'll just peter out right here on this show.